As a lifelong New Yorker, I never thought I'd be uttering these words, but New York City got so expensive, I finally had to leave. In 2023, 3 of the 5 boroughs in New York City topped the list of most expensive places to live in the United States, with Manhattan, Brooklyn, and Queens rounding out the top 15. Although not at its peak, the median price to buy a home is $763,000, with single families being $800,000. To put it in perspective, this what could be considered affordable home in Brooklyn at $569,000 would need a total gut renovation just to bring it to livable standards. On top of that, we live in some of the smallest apartments in this country, and most with very few amenities. I mean, you guys have seen me feature so many apartments on this channel, from super tiny 70 square feet to what's considered normal at about 200 to 300 square feet. 5th and 6th floor walk-ups, no dishwasher, no washer dryer. I mean, sometimes not even a kitchen. But like it or not, the amenities for New York City are really outside your home. It's truly a melting pot of different people, which brings different cultures, and you've got events and nightlife and bodegas that stay open all night so you can get a chopped cheese sandwich. I mean, it really is the city that never sleeps. And I'm one of the lucky ones. I live in a 1-bedroom that's almost 600 square feet. I have a doorman, an elevator, a laundry, dishwasher, tons of closets. They may be messy, but at least I do have them. And my rent, although it's not cheap, it's definitely not $4,000 like a lot of the apartments that you see that are out right now. So you may be wondering, well, if it's not that bad, why did you leave? And to explain that, I'd have to take you somewhere a little special. So this is a property that made me want to get into real estate investing. Almost 15 years ago, this property was for sale for about $500,000. Now, if you know New York prices, that's almost nothing. But I had just kind of started my career after graduating college, and I could not afford this on my own. The city was giving so many incentives for people to buy homes. They were giving down payment assistance, they were covering closing costs, and I felt at that time that this was the opportunity for us to jump in. And I went to my family, but they were a little bit more afraid. We would have been able to jump right into multifamily immediately. I believe there were 3 units in this home. We would have been able to live on 1 floor and rent out the other 2 floors. And although the market was scary around that time, as of right now, one of these 2 bedrooms in this building is renting for $3,400. Imagine, we could have had our entire mortgage paid by now with 1 unit and had the whole building, which is worth about $4 million right now. Even though this was a missed opportunity, that's okay. It's stuck in my mind, and knowing that something like this was possible just gave me the idea that investing was the journey that I was definitely going to take. As you can see, my goal for a very long time was to become a real estate investor here in New York City. But because it was just too cost prohibitive for me, I decided to leave corporate America and become a real estate agent. And my goal was to learn the business, understand property values, customer service, leasing, so that when the time came for me to buy something, I had all the skills I needed. And then I took a little bit of a detour. I started making money, I started partying a little bit, and I really leaned into the fact that I am just a serial entrepreneur. At the same time of being an agent and a broker, I started an Amazon FBA business where I learned how to manufacture products, and I sold over $120,000 worth of beauty accessories in my first year, and that was an amazing experience. Then I began this YouTube channel, which I never thought I was going to get the opportunity as I did. Millions of views, featured in online magazines, even a Wayfair commercial, which was super amazing. Things were going great, and then I stopped. And I stopped because I knew that I am a serial entrepreneur who likes to jump from project to project. And for me to be able to comfortably continue to do that, I really have to secure my retirement. And I knew that that was going to take me going back to investing in real estate. Now, because we know New York City real estate is super expensive, I knew that I needed to invest out of New York City if I really wanted to get started. And I researched a ton of markets. Some of those places included Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Albany, New York. I went to school there. I know the market. Houston, Texas, Cleveland, Ohio, and so many others. So even though I'm obviously still in my apartment, I'm sure you guys want to know, where did I go? What city did I choose? I chose Baltimore. want to be transparent and tell you guys what my goals are in real estate, and they're really quite simple. I think I'm going to need about $4 million by the time I'm ready to retire. And so that's going to take me owning $5 million of real estate that'll be paid off by the time I'm ready to start working. At that mark, I know I can refinance about 80% of the property's value, which would give me a little under $4 million after fees. $4 million is more than enough, I think, at least at this time, for me to be secure. And then with the properties, I can deed them over to my kids or other family members. Or if I decide to sell, at least I've already taken most of the money out to avoid a lot of the capital gains taxes. This may sound controversial to many, especially coming from someone who's been a real estate agent for the past 17 years. But I don't believe in buying personal properties unless I have investment properties that can help me pay for those things. I completely see why people buy a personal home first, but that's just not for me. When I am ready to buy my personal home, I'd love for it to look like one of the beautiful brownstones I've loved growing up and have featured heavily on this channel. Touring these homes was not a coincidence. It was my vision board of sorts, like a real life example of what I'd like to manifest. Guys, since you last saw me, I officially own over $1 million in real estate, and I feel like I'm just getting started. And of course, I filmed this entire journey for myself so that I can see where I started and to see where I finally end up. And also to show you guys, if this is something you want to do, it is totally possible. I'll definitely be back to own in New York City. But first, let's start with Baltimore.
Motherfucker, I've been mortified, 45, feeling like a Mordecai. I ain't regular, feel like Jordan wearing 45. Traumatized, victimized, seen some of my die. Knock you off a base with a bat when them niggas slide. Homicide, genocide, televised, emphasize, perpetuating war. Tell that nigga he gon' pick a side. Hood ties from hood lines, now nigga doing dope lines. Don't run into the cops, that's a big exercise. Don't run into the cops, that's the motto. I don't see it coming to an end like legato. Get chipped like staccato, send a wave through the hood, now it sounding like vibrato. Why you eat bread with avocado? We be trying to dodge shells before it landing on tomato. Singing all my sorrows on Apollo. I've been trying to pave the way, but they didn't tell me it was Pato.